to play. Pam's got the tea and the hot buffet. Movies, roll lights, flash all day. Time entertainment, TV. Where the fun and the facts agree. Sit back, relax, and you'll see. Time entertainment, TV. Where the fun and the facts agree. Sit back, relax, and you'll see. Drama unfolds, the plot gets thick. Celebrity cases real and slick. She breaks it down quick as a flick. Where the fun and the facts agree. Where the fun and the facts agree. Sit back, relax, and you'll see.
Hello, 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 hello. Welcome. Welcome to PETV Reacts. Welcome to PETV Reacts, where we review movies and television series. Listen, as you all are here, please make sure that you all hit that like button. And if you are liking what you see, please subscribe. And if you're here on PETV Reacts and you haven't always, go ahead and subscribe. And if you like what I see, and if you like celebrity, legal news, pop culture chats, and all that, hit my second channel, which is Pam Entertainment TV. That was the theme song there. I'm just trying to, I'm going to get another theme song for this channel, but that's what we're going to be rocking with for right now. All right, people. We are here. We are ready. We are about to review Cross. Season 2, episode 5. Y'all, we are about to get into this. So what I'll do, let's go ahead and get into this. I may and may not pop up on the screen, but if I do, if I don't, it's okay. All right, people. We're going to get in season 5. Let me tell you something. I think that this was pretty much a filler episode, but it was necessary. Now we see where Cross and his quote unquote prey intersect. Because the one thing about Cross is a very intelligent person. And as far as being a detective, he does what he needs to do to try to solve that case. However, he has this little quirk about him. Pretty much, I look at the quirk. He has he analyzes the case, and sometimes he gets so caught in the analyzation of the case, he can't see the forest from the trees. And this is a part where we will see that he can't see the forest for the trees, because he sometimes thinks that he is the be all end all. But we're going to keep going. All right? Because you know, just like I know, the Duolingo twins, murdering twins. We're starting to get some more information. Let's go this, because Duolingo murderer Rebecca is real sick about the death of Lincoln. She's saying that he's collateral damage. She's very upset about him being gone. Her family, her auntie Guadalupe and Duolingo murderer Donnie, they're like, listen, you're gonna have to figure this out. You're going to have to, because she's feeling bad that Lincoln is dead. He's like, he was a necessary sacrifice. The situation that you all were in at that point, and remember, it's a situation that Rebecca put them in because she had to confront Frost. She had to show that she is just as smart or whatever. I don't know exactly what's going on in Duolingo murderer Rebecca. And also remind you, these are my names for them. They're not the names of the show. Rebecca is the name of the show. She's AKA Luz or the Light. I think we find out that her mother's name was Poraz. Poraz. All right, let's continue. So at the beginning of the show, we see her getting pretty much a spiritual bath. It's like she's trying to rid herself of the guilt of the pruning from the timeline of Lincoln. And she also gets a tattoo in Lincoln's name on her shoulder. As she's doing that, it's pretty much like a montage. We see that the coroner is reviewing Lincoln's case, talking about the tattoos that he has on his body, and they have basically shown that, according to the autopsy, that Lincoln's death is a suicide. So Lincoln's death has been ruled to be a suicide. Now, for the story that I am interested. Old Bobby Trey. Bobby Trey confronts Agent Craig, because remember in the last episode we see this video that he has uncovered in regards to Project Bad Religion. He goes over the video and he's appalled. He looks at that video and he's like, wait a minute, hold up, who am I messing with? Now, mind you, Bobby Trey is a murderer for hire. You remember in the first season, he was working for a serial killer, and now he's working for Kayla Craig. But he doesn't trust that. He doesn't trust her because what he saw disturbed him to the point where he had to confront her. He confronted her. He showed her the video. Agent Craig is upset because she's like, that's not me. I don't know who that is. That's a deep fake. And you know, my people can do deep fakes. And so Bobby Craig believes her. And he says, she's like, well, go back to, I can't remember what his name is, but go back to the Asian man and figure it out. And he's like, his place got raided. And her eyes got really big. And she's like, okay, they're trying to keep you from uncovering what it is. And so Bobby Trey doesn't ask the questions that I thought he was going to ask. He should have been asking who and all of who's trying to get you, who's trying to do this, and what you got me into. Bobby Trey don't ask these questions. But he was ready to prune her from the timeline if he couldn't figure out what was going on. And I'm just like, Lord have mercy. This has gotten to be too serious for me. This is too serious for me. Because I don't understand. I don't understand. I truly don't. I truly don't. I don't understand what's going on. Bobby Trey was about to prune her from the timeline. Bad Religion is going through this whole episode. It's permeating through this whole episode. Whatever happened back then, but Kayla does admit that her job at the time was to sell illegal weapons without a serial number. So she puts her involvement in there, and I'm glad to hear that. And again, Craig and Cross, they all figure out with the team that Luz Perez is now Rebecca Matthews, and she's staying with her auntie Guadalupe Perez Matthews, a whole lot of stuff. And I put a little note, like, that damn Akbar is good as his job, but I think he is about to be collateral damage because of the fact that he's so good at his job, and plus he is inadvertently got involved with Project Bad Religion. I think Mastermind is going to terminate them too. And I am curious of who is Mastermind. Have we seen Mastermind? Has Mastermind shown himself within these 2 seasons? I don't know. I don't know who Mastermind is. But people are scared of Mastermind, whoever Mastermind is. So Agent Craig is in a pickle because Bobby Trey's operation has been just dumb-dotted. And so she's looking for someone, and the only person she can think of is someone that works with the FBI. And you remember, her boss is saying, you're on your own and you can't use FBI resources. But that's the only thing that she has. So she sends Bobby Trey to talk to the guy in the FBI to assist her and help her out. He does that. And baby, I'm going to skip over to this because I want this to be finished. Her boss finds out. Her boss calls her back to Washington, D.C. She has to go back to Washington, D.C. And he was about to give her papers. He was about to give her walking papers. But you remember last season, there was a lot of information on FBI agents, CIA, all this stuff from that the last season's murderer. He had compiled all of this information. Well, Agent Craig has that information. And when her boss tried to terminate her, honey, she pulled out all that information and showed him, hey, the person that was here before you in your job before, who pruned himself from the timeline, he pruned himself from the timeline because you blew his spot up. You told the people that he had done this when it actually was your butt. So her boss had no choice but to give her the asset that she needed, which was the computer expert that can do the deep fake. He did the deep fake, and we find out that the person who's sitting in the chair pretending, well, that they had well, her name is Felicia. That's all we know, is that the person who was doing those experiments and everything like that, her name was Felicia. It wasn't Kayla. All right. So let's go back up a little bit. Duolingo murderer Donnie is upset with Duolingo murderer Rebecca. And he's upset because he's like, you're playing games with these cops. These cops know who you are. You're going to get our operation messed up because you're trying to play these little games with the cops. Leave these cops alone. Leave them alone. You need to leave them alone. But, you know, Duolingo Rebecca doesn't want to. She goes and she meets with she meets with Cross, and they play this little tit for tat game. It really doesn't amount to much, but Donnie is very concerned with it. So, Duolingo Rebecca is in Washington, D.C. She's talking to a senator. At the same time, Cross is still in Florida, and he gets a text that Rebecca wants him to meet her at this spot. Kayla's like, listen, it seems like a setup to me. And the thing about with Cross and with that tit for tat that he had with Rebecca, he's kind of thinking, oh, well, she's feeling me in the sense that she trusts me and everything like that. And I don't think that she would set him up. It was a setup. It was a setup by Duolingo murderer Donnie. He tried to prune Cross from the timeline, and it ended up that Bobby Trey was the one that saved his butt. And I'm just sitting here like, you know what? You know what? This don't make no sense. This don't make any sense. So let's go back over to, also I want to talk about Duolingo Donnie. He does give us a backstory. He tells Rebecca why he's in this fight for so long is because when Crestwood Industry was Crestwood Farms, that farm butted up against his family farm. And that farm did a lot of environmental stuff and they took up all the water resources. They ran the wells dry. They also had I guess they had like a compost situation going on, but it really wasn't compost. It was just like waste, and it made his family sick. And he had gotten so upset that he went and he set fire to the chicken coop over there. And then come to find out that there were migrant workers in the chicken coop, and the chicken coop was locked up, and he couldn't open the chicken coop to be able to get the people out, and the people burned to death. So he's avenging their deaths because he realizes that Crestwood had them locked up in there, plus his anger caused for their death. So he is trying to avenge their deaths. Let's get to these little quick side stories. So you see here, let me see. Elle up here. She's with the daughter. I think her name is Janice. I can't think if that's truly what the daughter's name is. But anyway, she's with the daughter, and she's still assisting Cross with the children. And I said before, if you are not trying to get with that man, you need to leave that man alone, and you need to leave his family alone. But she doesn't do that. She set herself up that Janie can go to her for anything and everything. And she's doing a good job up until the point where the little girl has so much on her plate and she can't seem to juggle everything like she wants to. And so Elle teaches her, hey, you need to figure out how to delegate your stuff. Basically, you can't sit here and be everything to everybody and do everything for everybody. You're gonna have to learn how to delegate responsibilities or have somebody else do tell them, get somebody else to do it. You can't sit here and then you can't feel guilty because of the fact that you can't do everything. People require you to do a lot of stuff, but you can't do everything, and you need to be okay with the fact that you can't do everything. So she buys her this planner and she's like, make sure that you run the planner and the planner doesn't run you. And it's basically you go through here and you figure out the things you need to do, give yourself the deadlines, write them down, write keywords. She explains the planner to her. And and just to show the little girl that how she does it, she pulls out her own planner. Elle pulls out her own planner, and I think her name is Janice or Jalen. I can't think of what her name is right now. But she looks in there and she sees the name Trevor and she wants to know who Trevor is. And again, this is where I knew that this problem was going to come, because this little girl is thinking that you all are going to be this family. It's going to be her brother, her dad, and Elle. And Elle is like, no, that's not how this is working out. I'm doing this because I love you. And baby girl don't understand that. She's thinking that Elle is trying to get with her dad and everybody was going to be a big old happy family. So she gets upset. And I told y'all in those other episodes, if Elle is not going to be with Cross, then she needs to leave Cross and his family home alone. Because my question is, where is Grandma and Mama right here? Where is she? What is she doing? Because she's been away for a while. She left to go help a friend who was in an accident, but she's been away for a while. This don't make any sense for her to be as far away from it as she can. So let me back up, because there was an incident where the guy from Crester Durand right here, he tried to flex on Craig and Cross, because they're like, hey, we think, do you know this woman? Because she might be your killer. And he was talking about Duolingo Rebecca. And he's like, no, I don't know her. Well, him and his security guard tried to buck up on Craig and Cross. And Cross is starting to realize, I know that he's a bad guy, but I believe that there's something else that's going on and he's not telling us. And what he's not telling you is the fact that he hires child labor. Even though he went on the television show and told everybody, he didn't know what was happening and his heart is big and all this other stuff. He don't really care about the kids. He cares about his industry. And if he can use child labor, then he's going to use child labor. A mess, a mess, a mess. So that was pretty much the episode. Janine, the child is named Janine. The last thing I want to talk about in that episode is Duolingo Rebecca. Now, Duolingo Rebecca, she went to Senator Ashford's office in Washington, D.C. And she was telling him, she came in like she was a staffer when she's not. But she came in and she was telling Senator Senator Ashford about his mama. And his mother is a sitting federal judge. And what happened is the mother had invested in Crestwood Farms before it became Crestwood Industries. And what she would do to keep her investment sound is that any case that came up in regards to Crestview, she was the judge on the case, and she would dismiss the cases. She wouldn't allow for the people to have their day in court. She would dismiss the case because she was invested in this particular stocks and everything like that. And so she went there because there was insurance that she needed to get in order to blackmail Crestwood. And so she did. She cut the back of a picture, and another picture was in the back. So we don't know what's going on. And that's Bobby Trey saving Cross is how this show ended. So listen, this main story, it is what it is, but it's getting boring because now Cross knows who the killer is. There is no I don't feel the high stakes. I'm still more interested in Operation Bad Religion, Bobby Trey, and Agent Craig. That whole storyline right there is more interesting than the main story of Cross. And that is pretty much my criticism of this, because last season we saw everything that Cross was able to do. Now it's just like, even though he has instincts, they're betraying him. And as I've said that, there's the second side quest that's going on is with John and his mother. They go to the crime scene, him and the Emmeline, the other detective. She's the main detective and he's just assisting. They go to the crime scene. He's looking at the blood and the blood spatter, and then they look at it. It's odd to him, and then she brings up the fact that it's supposed to be 5 shots, and it's actually 6. So they're like, "Where did the 6th shot go?" Now we understand and we see that there's a void in the blood, and usually where there's a void in the blood, that means there's an object that was in between. Standing in the void, there was an object, whether the object was a desk, a chair, or something, or a person. So they're believing that there is a person who has been shot and has a bullet in them. So we will see, because John is on that side quest to save his mother. He believes, he don't know her from a can of paint, but he believes that she did not kill the person that she's accused of killing, and they're still working on trying. And so the side plots are so much better. I'm getting more enjoyment from the side plots than I am from the main plot. But I will tell you this. Bobby Trey is becoming one of my favorite cast members. As far as his role, he's a murderer for hire, basically. And I like the fact that he's resourceful and he is where he needs to be. But here's the thing. Now we realize that the Duolingo murderers, they're a set. And so Cross is finding out that they're a set. He thought that his charm was working her over. She could care less about She could care less about Cross. Duolingo Rebecca is on a mission, and she's so far showing that her mission, she's not sidetracking from that mission. All right, people. What do you all think about season 2, episode 5 of Cross, which is entitled Climb? I like this episode. Again, I liked it for the side quest, not necessarily what Cross was doing. I need for Cross to get his head back in the game and realize these are killers out here. And I need for you to get the killers. Okay? We don't need to know about how you were just this. We need you to get the killers, and that's what you need to do. You need to be thinking like the killers so that we can wrap this thing up. But give me more of the side quests. That's what I'm more interested in, the side quests. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all tell me, how y'all feeling about Cross? We're in episode 5. We are trudging along. We've had good episodes. My favorite episodes have been episodes 1 and 2 and 4. So we will continue to get through this and get through this together. All right, people. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.